I pull up, like, how you pull up, baby? How you pull up? How you pull up? I pull up. Step in the kitchen. Let's go. Brand new Lamborghini, the cop car. With a pistol on my hip like I'm a cop. Have you ever met a real nigga rock star? This ain't no guitar, but this a clock. My Glock told me to promise you gon' squeeze me. You better let me go the day you need me. She put me on that nigga, get the bus. And if I ain't enough, go get the chop. It's safe to say I earned it, ain't a nigga gave me nothing. I'm ready to hop out on the nigga, get the bus. Know you heard me say you play, you late, don't make me push the button.
And welcome to the Kick Lives. I am Michael Buckheister, host of Just for Clicks. If you guys are new here, consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook Live as well. But as always, I gotta welcome my man, the myth, the legend, Mike LeBlanc, my co-host. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on? What's going on? How's your day? How's your day?
Man, my day has been a lot better than yours. I mean, traveling on the road like all day, I definitely understand the struggle with that 100%. But we got to get into it, man. Got to get into it.
Oh.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
All right. So there was this graphic that came up on Facebook today, and it got me thinking. Me and Mike have gone back and forth about who's the best running back in the league, and he thinks Zeke is not the best running back in the league. He actually thinks he's maybe not even top 5. Well, today, sir, today is the day that I'm going to prove you wrong. Look at this. Look at this. Most games with 100 yards rushing since 2017. Who has the most? Ezekiel Elliott. What does 100 yards get you? They get you touchdowns. They get you first downs. They move the chains. He's only one man. You know, we got a human garbage can for a quarterback on the field. So he can't throw the ball. But look at this. Look at this. Above Todd Gurley. I don't know who this Carson guy is. Barkley, Saquon Barkley, who you think is a better running back than my man Zeke. Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, your boy Christian McCaffrey, Mark Ingram. Come on, man. Ezekiel Elliott, hands down, is the best running back in the league. He is Mr. Dependable. He's going to get you those tough yards. So I need everybody, stop disagreeing with me. We're going on facts here. Zeke is the best running back in the league.
And that was Mike's thoughts. I'm not going to challenge your thoughts by any means, even though they are wrong, because numbers do lie. If you guys have listened to any part of the show whatsoever, you guys know that the numbers lie. So, with that being said, guys, we have to get into the next segment of the show here, the Sriracha. The best part of, I think, is the show here. And if you guys are new here, what the Sriracha is what is hot in our bodies, like what is burning deep into our bodies. And the COVID-19 is still burning deep into my body here. And the Ohio State AD, his name is slipping my mind right now, Gene Smith, said that they are going to allow only 20 to 25,000 fans into the Ohio State football games. Just to put that into perspective, guys, they usually have over 100,000 fans in that stadium each and every Saturday home game, obviously. But I applaud them for trying to be safe and keep social distancing, yada, yada, yada. But what you have to realize, have you ever been to a bathroom in a stadium? It's elbows and assholes 90% of the time. You are not going to ever separate people 6 feet apart. When I'm drunk and like I got to piss, I don't care if this man's got freaking his arm cut off. I'm going to piss. Mike, go for it.
My Sriracha are Karens. I don't know if any of you know what a Karen is. These are these uptight home wives that their husbands make 6-7 figures a year, and they're on Facebook telling people stay home, wear a mask. No, we don't need to open up. Hey, Karen, guess what? Monica down the street needs to pay the bills. She's got to go back to work. This coronavirus shit is just totally overblown, and it is blown way out of proportion. So, Karen, stay off of the internet. Stay off of Facebook. Nobody cares what you think.
And my next sriracha is, did you guys read that article where a unnamed NFL player is suing United Airlines for sexual assault? Okay, I get it. You know, men can be sexually assaulted too, yada, yada, yada. But this is a passenger on United Airlines. Why is this unnamed NFL player? First of all, why are you unnamed? Put your name on it, son. If you were sexually assaulted by a female, put your name on it. Don't be Michael Sands and be, you know, oh, I don't like girls, whatever, right? And second of all, take this passenger to court. Don't sue United Airlines over something that somebody else did. Absolutely asinine. That is sriracha in my body right now.
Somebody's looking for a big payday.
Go for
All
it.
right, man. My last sriracha for today, Dak Prescott. I know we talk about him a lot on this show, and for good reason. He just said that he wants $45 million for his 5th season. So I guess $175 million over 5 years with $106 million guaranteed is not good enough for you. Again, here we go. You get to play a game for a living. That is how you make more than 10 average Joes put together playing a damn game. Yes, it's a game that we all love and everything like that. And I understand that these people need to get paid from everything they get happens to their body over their career. I get it. But at what point do we start saying you're greedy at this? Like that point right now is me. You're greedy. You need pieces around you to actually win ball games. And all you're wanting to do is take that so you cannot have pieces around you. Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, if you're listening, Jerry Jones, send him that damn franchise tag. If he doesn't sign it, then get your ass out of here.
And Buck's final sriracha of the day. I'm getting sick and tired of all this GOAT talk. Who is the greatest of like all time? Is it Tom Brady? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Is it Joe Burrow? Is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron James? Kobe Bryant? Wilt Chamberlain? At the end of the day, who really cares? Who cares who is who's a GOAT? I surely don't. I could care less who the GOAT is. I enjoy watching football games. I enjoy watching basketball games without thinking who is the greatest of like all time. Oh, am I watching history right now? I don't care. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm not in my phone. I'm not tweeting like all game. I am watching the game because numbers lie and my eyes don't. So I'm going to tell you who I think the best player on the field is right then and there, but I don't care about the GOAT. I mean, the game has changed so much from 1996 until 2026. I mean, the court's gotten wider, people have gotten bigger, stronger, faster. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Who really here is the GOAT? Mike, do you care who the GOAT is?
Hashtag Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back of all time.
He had to slide that in there, even though he is false with that, and Barry Sanders is the greatest of all time, right? So guys, we're going to take a quick little commercial break here. If you're listening to us on live feed, listen to some music, Mike's song right here. But we're going to be right back after a quick commercial break, and after we're back, we're going to talk Miami Dolphins, break down the 2020 draft picks, and pick their scheduled games. We'll be right back.
I'm always waking up a cold sweats like I got the flu. My daughter a G, she saw me killing it in front of her before the age of 2. And I'd kill another nigga too. So I let another nigga do something to you. As long as you know that, don't let nobody tell you different, that I love you. Let's go. Brand new Lamborghini, a cop car. With a pistol on my hip like I'm a cop. Have you ever met a real nigga rock star? This ain't no guitar, but this a clock.
And welcome back to the Stretch and Clicks, guys. It is time to get into the bulk of today's show, the 2020 Miami Dolphins. Guys, if you have been living underneath a rock, I think the Miami Dolphins probably had what is considered one of the best drafts in recent memory. I mean, they definitely got an A+ on my board by their draft picks. I mean, hell, they like they should. They had 5 draft picks in the first 2 rounds. Of course, being their first pick of the 2020 draft was at number 5, was Tua from Alabama. Mike, you think Tua's going to start this season? Do you think Tua is that franchise quarterback for Miami to move forward?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Tua is going to be the franchise quarterback. He's going to be starting week 1. You don't pick somebody that high, especially a quarterback. You don't pick somebody that high for them to sit and ride the bench and learn behind Fitzpatrick. That's who you're going to have him learn behind?
I mean, he has been around the league. He's been with like 15 teams or something like that, right?
I get it. He's the journeyman, but does that qualify him to really like coach up a youngster? I don't think so. I think his coaches can do a better job coaching him up than sitting and learning behind Fitzpatrick. He learns bad habits and everything from Fitzpatrick. Tua will be starting week 1.
As much as I want to agree with you, because I do like Tua as a football player, I'm not for sure if his game from college is going to transfer into the NFL. Mean like obviously only time will tell. Like with that, but then you have to realize: is he really healthy? Is that ankle healed up? Is that hip healed up? And if the Miami Dolphins are smart, if Tua is their franchise quarterback for the next 15 to 16 years, they better be smart and not injure him in this meaningless season. Because are they legitimately a Super Bowl contender this season? Heck no, they're not. I don't think they are.
No, they're in rebuild mode. They're in true rebuild.
Yeah, so you definitely don't want to risk injuring if there's any doubt he is.
No, I think you do, man. I think you do. You go out.
You risk him hurting his hip again and being out forever.
Yeah, man. He's not going to be out forever, and I don't think you're risking him having a season career or a career-ending injury. I don't think that. But
those hip injuries are dangerous. Look at who was that? Bo Jackson that popped his hit up and the vessel got in his hip and he can't play again.
But you can't keep him in a bubble. You can't keep him. You can't keep the kid in bubble wrap.
Yeah, but
you go out. You let him go out. They already know. There's no way. You're not even playing for the playoffs this season. Let's be honest. The Dolphins aren't even going to smell the playoffs.
Yeah. So why would you even risk him getting hurt if he's not 100%?
You go out and you give him experience. That's why.
So experience at 80% is better than being 80% on the bench, learning from a professional like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
100%. Yes, I think you'll get better experience playing the damn game than sitting behind Fitzpatrick and watching Fitzpatrick. There's a reason Fitzpatrick has been to 15 teams. There's a reason.
There is a reason why he's still in the league after being in the league for 15 years or whatever it's been.
Has he ever been a franchise quarterback?
No.
Has he ever, besides when a quarterback gets hurt, has he ever been just, let me sign Fitzpatrick for 4 years because he's going to be our starting quarterback?
Miami.
Well, and look where they're at, and look who they just drafted.
Didn't he sign a pretty good deal with Houston too, a little while ago?
To be a backup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, learning from somebody that has been in the league. He can take knowledge from all those different teams that he has been on and be like, look, I learned from this guy, and he can mold into something and be something fairly good coach on the field. But I did listen to an interview where Ryan Fitzpatrick said, "Hey, Tua is my best friend right now. I want him to learn from me, whether it's playing behind me or me being behind him." So Ryan Fitzpatrick knows his days are numbered in Miami one way or the other. But
Fitzpatrick knows he plays. That's one great thing I love about Fitzpatrick. He's not a great quarterback by any means, but one thing I love about him is he's not a prima donna, and he knows his role.
Yeah, and
he does.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that 100%. But looking at the other draft picks, they drafted 3 offensive linemen as well, 2 offensive guards and an offensive tackle. Austin Jackson they drafted in the first round, offensive tackle from USC.
Yep.
Miami was definitely building up the line, building up their quarterback, and look at the defensive side. They drafted 5 defensive players I like as well, 2 defensive ends, a safety, and a cornerback. Miami, they may not be on the cusp of winning this division this year because I think it's the Buffalo Bills division to lose right now, to be totally honest. But looking forward, they're built to win.
Yeah, look, they are. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a sleeper that was taken in the 3rd round by Miami.
Yeah.
Only because I watched him play throughout his career in Texas.
Right.
Brandon Jones at safety. Watch him over the next couple of years. He's gonna blossom into one of the league's most dominant safeties. He did it at Texas. He was one of the country's dominant most safeties.
Right.
Watch, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying there, it is easy to translate defensive players to the NFL because, like I've been saying like all week here, it is read and react. You don't really have to learn a brand new scheme. There's only so many 4-3s, 5-2s, 3-4 fronts that you can run and coverages. There's only so many that you can learn. Most people learn that in high school. So he's just going to fine tune his game, build confidence, and definitely have a good career overall. I think so. Yes, that's definitely a great pick. The one that kind of surprised me was Malcolm Perry, the wide receiver from Navy. Wide receiver had a that there was 25, 26 wide receivers in this draft that I think are going to do really, really well in the NFL at some point, have 9-10 year careers. But Malcolm Perry wasn't one of them. Obviously he was drafted in the 7th round, so I'm not even sure he'll be on the team, to be honest. And looking at the roster, I don't even remember who is Miami roster's wide receivers right now because they traded off their best receiver from last year, Kenny Stills, to Houston for a 1st round pick. And
you still got Devontae Parker now.
Oh, yes.
And then you got Allen Hurns. I don't think the Cowboys should have got rid of Hurns.
For some reason, I don't remember Allen Hurns.
Yeah, Allen Hurns. He came from Jacksonville. He had a breakout couple of seasons in Jacksonville, and then they released him. Cowboys are either they released him or the Cowboys traded for him. He came to Dallas. He had a pretty decent season. He had Dak Prescott throwing him the ball, so and now he's on the Dolphins. So don't be so surprised if you don't hear a lot from Allen Hurns. And then you got Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, and then I don't know much about Albert Wilson, but Preston Williams and Devontae Parker, those are some decent receivers.
For some reason, Albert Wilson is ringing the bell. Did he not play with Kansas City for like a while? Shoot.
I don't.
Let's look at his stats here. Yeah, he played for Kansas City for 4 years, 2014 to 2018, where he was traded to the Dolphins, and really hasn't been healthy at all. 7 games in 2018, 13 games last year. Really only getting 70 receptions over the last 2 years. So, they're definitely going to have to step up, like if he wants to do well. Checking in the comments here, Mike Reeves says Hurns don't burn.
No, he's right. Hurns won't burn you, but you know what? Hurns is a great slot receiver.
For somebody that watches football, for me, I don't remember Hurns whatsoever. So obviously he didn't definitely stand out off the paper to me whatsoever. So Mike, it is that time there. It is time to break down the Miami's Dolphins schedule, and we were talking pre-show. And
wait. One thing before we go into that: wide receiver, they need help. Don't be surprised if Miami Dolphins makes a move for Dez Bryant or Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown is going to the Packers. I've already told you that.
I don't think so, son.
Is Dez Bryant healthy though from that Achilles still?
Yeah, I've seen it. They've been posting workouts. The guy looks healthy. He looks sharp. Looks crisp. So, yeah.
I would like to see Dez back on the field at some point. I kind of think he got the raw end of the deal in Cowboys land. So,
well, yeah. He had Dak Prescott start throwing to him, and it went downhill from there.
Just give Dez the ball, and all things would have been okay, right?
Yeah. Dez caught it.
So let's go ahead and break down the schedule here. I don't have a pen. Do you have a pen handy? Oh, here it is. There's my pen. I can write down the win-losses. Hell yeah. So they are week 1. They're on the road taking on the New England Patriots. 1:00 kickoff game. Who do you got?
I have the Patriots.
How the Patriots? Why is that? Stidham?
Yeah, Stenham and Belichick will be ready, and it's an easy game for his first game with his new quarterback. Um, I really don't think Miami's defense is going to be that great this year. I know they drafted a lot of defensive players. They drafted a lot of defensive players in the late rounds. I actually like that take to add.
That was the Des Bryant thing, I do believe. So Mike Reeves says, actually, I like that take to add one of them, meaning Des Bryant or Antonio Brown to Miami. I don't think so. Let's go ahead and jump back into that real quick. I don't think Antonio Brown will be able to last in Miami because they do have a young quarterback. You do not want to have a prima donna like Antonio Brown in Miami when you have a quote possible franchise quarterback, getting corrupted by a mind like Antonio Brown. We like the whole frozen feet thing and the helmet thing, and then having sex with his trainer, like all that crap. I don't think Miami wants that. Flores comes from the Patriot way. He was with the Patriots defensive coordinator or something to that effect. I can't remember what it was, but he was with the Patriots, so he has that Patriot way organization. He's not going to bring Antonio Brown in. Des Bryant, he might bring in if he has a clear head, clear mind, and not have that ego that Des Bryant had at first couple years with Dak Prescott.
No, I'm gonna tell you, both of them have big egos.
Well, I mean, the wide receivers, they're going to have big egos.
But you also have to look; they're out of the league right now, so it's not the ball is not in either Des Bryant or Antonio Brown's corner right now. It's not in their court, right? So both of these receivers got something to prove, and they know, at least as a normal human fucking being, you would know that I've got to keep my nose clean and I got to shut my mouth if I want to continue to play this game and get.
You are speaking like a person that has never played in the NFL, though. That's your problem. What you need to speak like is you need to speak like Antonio Brown is the freaking best receiver in the whole NFL, and he knows it, and that's all he wants to do. Des Bryant, however, he has been out of the league for a couple years. He played, was it one game or two games with the Saints before he hurt his Achilles. So Des Bryant has a little bit more clear of a head than Antonio Brown right now. Give Antonio Brown till week 9 or week 10 to realize, hey, I want to play football, and I know I got to keep my head clean.
We'll see. I think they get either one of them, if not maybe both.
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it? With the
they're both come cheap.
Barker and yeah,
they're both come cheap.
That would be quite the intrigue here. So back over to week 1, you do have them losing to the Patriots. I have them beating the Patriots because of everything that you said. This is week 1, new quarterback. The Patriots defense is still going to be pretty stout. They assigned Chung to a 2-year extension earlier today. So give me Miami in that week 1 game because I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to start the game, be that veteran leader on the field. Stidham's going to be kind of nervous first home game. I don't have a lot of faith in the Patriots in this first the first quarter of the season. So moving on to week 2, they're at home, another division game, take on the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
You're picking the Buffalo Bills with?
Oh yeah, there's not a whole lot of games I've picked this season for the Miami Dolphins to win. So be ready to hear they lose quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game as well. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to probably win this division. However, I'm kind of curious if Ed Oliver is going to be on the roster at this point, or if he's going to be suspended or whatever with his DWI and weapon charge. That is going to be a huge loss for the Buffalo Bills moving forward. So I think they can handle Miami Dolphins without Ed Oliver on the field. So give me the Buffalo Bills still. Next week, they're still in state, but traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars.
I've got the Dolphins winning this game. This is their first game that they win on the season. Jacksonville, it's a game of rebuilds because both teams are rebuilding, but I think Miami Dolphins has a one or two more key pieces that will help them win the game. A lot of the Dolphins games are going to be boring to watch.
Yeah, and I forgot to add that this is a Thursday night game, I do believe as well. The one of the first Thursday nights of the game, and usually when the road team travels travels on Thursday night, they have a big disadvantage. But this is like a 3-hour bus drive or something like that, and they'll probably fly. It's like a 40-minute flight, so the travel's not going to be a real big concern. But I do like Miami in this one as well. I'm not sold on Minshew as quarterback for the Jaguars whatsoever. And I think Jacksonville Jaguars are like a duck on the pond right now. They may be saying all the right things on the surface, but behind closed doors, their legs are spinning around and round and round. They don't know what they're doing whatsoever in Jacksonville. Moving on to the next week here, they're at home to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Who do you got?
Seattle. That defense is going to be way too stout for that Miami offense.
So you have them 1-3 on the season so far.
Yes, sir.
Going into week 5. Let me tell you something. If you guys have been listening to the show at all, I've said this stat many times. West Coast teams travels to East Coast, plays that 1:00 game. They lose 70% of the time. With that being said, this is an upset in the making. Everything is brewing for Miami offense to upset the Seattle Seahawks, 100%. But there's also, when a West Coast team travels to East Coast, they win 30% of the time. Seattle Seahawks get that for 30%, and they beat the Miami Dolphins. I have them going 2-2 on the season, going into week number 5. They travel to the San Francisco 49ers.
I have the Niners winning this game. That defense is going to be way too much.
Even with Tua?
Yeah, even with Tua. I think Bosa sacks Tua like 3 or 4 times that game.
I'm going with the 49ers too. I know we've already picked this, but the 49ers, the defense is stout. 49 or the Miami Dolphins, their offense is going to be young. The only way they stand a chance is if they sign both Antonio Brown and Dez Bryant before this game starts and they're acclimated into the offense and everything's working well. So you probably have to sign them by week 2 or week 3. So I don't see that happening. So give me the 49ers in this game. Next week, they're on the road still, traveling to Mile High to take on the mighty Broncos.
I've actually got them winning this game. I think they go into Mile High and they take care of business. I think this is a trap game for the Broncos. Coming in, I have them at 1-3, right? So coming in at 1-3, the Broncos, I think, are going to overlook the Dolphins, and they're going to get shocked.
Yeah, so you have them beating Jacksonville and Denver so far on the season, making it 2-4 on the season so far. I have them at 2-3 right now going into that Denver game. I like the Broncos. I like the Broncos in this game because it is tough to travel from sea level to Mile High. That is going to be the big factor in this game. Like you can throw out the record, you can throw out who is better, yada yada yada. That altitude is ultimately is going to kill Tua in the end if he's playing like at this point. Give me the Dolphins. Drew Lock's going to have a good game. 3 touchdowns, 305 yards. Next week, they're back at home taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Who do you got?
I got the Chargers in this game.
Got the Chargers.
Offense is not going to be – it's just kind of boring breaking down the Dolphins, I'm not going to lie. There's just not a whole lot you can say about the Dolphins, you know what I mean?
What you can say is Tua, if he was starting the season, this is time of year that they might be thinking about pulling him out to save some confidence moving on to the 21 season. I think they beat the Chargers, though. I don't have any faith in the Chargers whatsoever this year. Hopefully by this point, for their sake, they do have Jacob Easton in there, or Eason, I should say, in there playing for them, gaining that valuable experience, because the Chargers are going to be straight dog crap this year, 100%. So I had them 3-4 going into the next week. You had them at 2-5 at home, taking on another LA team. 1:00 kickoff versus the Rams.
Rams, yeah. Rams is gonna. I think Jared Goff is gonna eat that secondary alive.
You know what? The Dolphins' schedule is looking pretty favorable here. I'm not going to go into lie. They play 1, 2, 3 East Coast teams, all at 1:00 in the afternoon. That's what 10 10 o'clock on the West Coast. Guess where the Rams are from? L.A. West Coast. Give me the Miami Dolphins in this game. I think the Rams are complete trash this year too. Miami Dolphins got a pretty favorable schedule so far. Moving into the season so far, so I had them going 500. Going into the next week, they travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Second game of November. Who do you got?
Cardinals. And I think Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray has a just coming out party almost against the Dolphins. I see him rushing for like 120 yards and throwing for another 304 combined touchdowns.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is too much for the Dolphins defense to handle. I don't care if they drafted the whole Alabama defense like at this point. You have to look at those offensive weapons that the Arizona Cardinals have. They have Hopkins now. They have Larry Fitzgerald. They drafted another wide receiver that his name is consistently slipping my mind for some reason. And that defense is surprisingly pretty good. You know, probably top 15 in the NFL as far as total defense wise. So I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals, not only because they're at home, because of Kyler Murray. I'm going to go with everything that you said. I think Kyler Murray has a coming out party, and people are surprised, like, whoa, this is the Kyler Murray that we saw at Oklahoma. Okay, now we know why the Arizona Cardinals drafted him and like whatnot. Moving on to the next week, November 15th, at home, take on the New York Jets.
Actually, they're playing. The Jets are playing the Dolphins at home. Are they go this one, right?
No, Miami is at home.
Miami's at home. I've got Miami in this game.
Yeah. So so this is the type of that we spoke about earlier. They have that back to back where they play the Jets and then an off week and then Jets again. So I am picking Miami to win this game. I just don't think the Jets are going to be there this year. Yes, I know they got Le'Veon Bell. What did they do from last year? Really not a whole lot of anything. They got Frank Gore now. What is he going to do? How are they going to implement him? I don't know. I just don't see them doing that well this year, so that's why I'm picking Miami. Next week, they have a bye week, and then they travel to New York to take on the Jets.
And I think they split it, and the Jets beat them in this game. Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore have great games.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. I think they do split the series, not only because Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore have great games. It's just because you're coming from 85-degree weather to -6-degree weather in New York. It could be snowing. It could be raining. Last weekend of November. I mean, who wants to be in New York in November and December?
Yeah,
absolutely nobody. Their buttholes are going to be puckered. They're going to be like, oh, let's just get out of here and I can go. Moving on to the next week, the first week of December, stream of home games here. Take on the Bengals at home.
Ooh. I got the Bengals winning this game. And I think Joe Burrow has an amazing game.
Is this Joe Burrow's coming out party?
No, I think Joe Burrow has his coming out party earlier in the season.
Okay.
But it's going to look like Joe Burrow that we all thought he could be.
Okay, well, you have Joe Burrow coming out earlier in the season. I have Tua coming out in this game. Tua, everything starts to slow down for Tua at this point. He is starting to make his reads. He is he is opposite-handed there. So he his receivers understand how to catch a left-handed pass at this point. And the Bengals defense just isn't very good. They're probably 30th in in the league. If we were to rank their defenses, it would definitely be down there at the bottom. I'm giving Miami in this game, so I have them going 6-6 going into week 14, and you have them right at 3-9 right now, and they're at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Is this even a question?
This is a question.
I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning this game. That Patty Mahomes and company is way too much high power for that Dolphins defense. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do think it's going to be one of those close-ish games. It's going to be 21-10.
Yeah, we speak about trap games every time we down a schedule, and when I look at the Kansas City Chiefs record and or their schedule and we broke them down, what, second or third so far, this is the trap game for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're traveling to Miami, second week of December. Have you been to Kansas City in December? You don't want to be. It's 5 degrees. The wind's blowing. It's so dry. Your nose always bleeds. It is ridiculous. Then they go to Miami, 65 and sunny. They're on the beach. Their feet are in like in the water. They're going to be laid back. They're going to be chilled. The Kansas City Chiefs still do win this game, but it is going to be like one of those ugly games like they had in Denver last year when Patrick Mahomes dislocated his kneecap. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly win, but they will get it done, and they'll pull away late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that is a good point there. Moving on to the next game here, they're at home again for the third straight time, taking on the New England Patriots, same as week 1.
I've got them splitting this. I got the Dolphins winning this game against the Patriots,
putting them at 4-10 on the season. I have them splitting the season as well, so I'm having the Patriots win this game, making them 6-8 on my side of things. I think Stidham is starting to click at this point. The Patriots are finding their stride. Stidham is buying into the Belichick system, and he might be looking like a GOAT quarterback like Tom Brady was all those years in New England, like at this point. So look out for Stidham.
Calm down with that.
You guys want a fantasy sleeper pick? In 2017, I told my wife to pick up Patrick Mahomes. She got him in the 6th round, and they're like, who is Patrick Mahomes? She's in a keeper league. Now she has the best fantasy football player ever right now. Pick up Jared Stidham right here. He is going to be an elite fantasy football quarterback moving forward.
Don't do that if you want to win.
I'm 3-time champion, but, nothing on my shoulders. Moving on to the last week of December, they travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders.
I think the Raiders win this game. What's his face is in?
Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota?
Mariota. I think Mariota is taking over the offense by this time, and late in the season, the Raiders get it going a little bit, and Mariota will be their starter in 2021, and they start building off of that. But unless they're in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, if they're in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, Trevor Lawrence will be their quarterback. But yeah, I think Mariota has taken over the team at this point, and they start firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, this game is kind of intriguing to me because I don't know where the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be. I've said they're either going to be really freaking good, 13-3, or really, really bad, 3-13. So if they're the 3-13, like obviously they're tanking for Trevor Lawrence, yada yada yada, they're going to lose this game. But I think for some reason they might be scary good, and it's just something in me that says vote for the Raiders. But I can't do it. I got to circle this loss off this thing here, and I got to go with Miami. I got to go with Miami in Vegas. Just my gut is telling me to pick them. The Raiders have been such a disappointment since John Gruden has been on the field or been on their sideline. Let's be honest. And I think they're going to have another disappointing season. So 3-13 for the Las Vegas Raiders, taken for Lawrence. So moving on to the final game of the year, another division opponent at Buffalo. Who do you got?
I got Buffalo winning this game. Buffalo, they've got the division. The only way I see the Miami Dolphins winning this game is if Buffalo rides in, already has a playoff spot secured, and it's already done, and they rest their starters. If starters are still playing and it's coming down to this game or for them to get into the playoffs, then it's going to be an ugly game, and the Buffalo Bills is going to wax that ass.
Yeah, I don't care if the Buffalo Bills are resting their players or not by this point of the season. Miami's going to go into Buffalo in January. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. Who wants to play in football in December or in January in Buffalo? Absolutely nobody. New York is a trash place to be in the month of December and January. Let's be totally honest. Miami doesn't want to be there. They lose this game, and it's not even going to matter because Miami's already out. the Buffalo Bills probably have it already locked in. So you might see Drew Rosen play this game, to be honest. So
Yeah.
So I have the Miami Dolphins going 7-9 on the season. You have them at 4-12. Now, obviously, there is not going to be a couple games for you that you can circle and be like, hey, if they win this game and this game and this game, they're going to be in the playoffs. But what game do you circle on that roster and be like, hey, if you guys win this game, you can have some momentum, some confidence moving into the 21 season.
I've got that Chiefs game circled, and then I also I have the second game of the Bills circle, or the last game of the Bills circle.
So you think they play well against the Buffalo Bills, win, lose, or draw? They have confidence going into the off season.
Yep, and if they play well against the Chiefs and hold them to a low-scoring game, I think that's something to build off of, and you can go back and look at the film and see what you did right, and then continue to build on that.
Right, and so I had them going 7-9, and I'm going to circle one game on the roster, or I guess 3 weeks on the roster is that Jets bye-week Jets game. If they could sweep the Jets, that puts them at 8-8 on the season in my book. And quite possibly that could be enough to make it into the playoffs in the AFC. We've seen many 8-8 teams make the playoffs over the years, and with the playoff system expanding to 7 teams, you could definitely slide in there with 8-8 record. Also, another game that I want to circle is that Chiefs game. Like you said, they could gain confidence. They could get absolutely killed by the Kansas City Chiefs. 55-3, I don't care. But as long as that offense is moving the ball up and down the field, maybe they're not quite punching it in or selling for field goals or something. As long as Tua is able to move the ball up and down the field, confidence is a real big key going into the off season. 100%.
Yeah, no, 100%. If Tua can get some confidence, and that's what I was saying earlier. Right, we know that the Dolphins aren't going to be great this season, but you need to go ahead and put Tua in there. Let him get some experience, because you're going to start building around him. He's going to be their franchise quarterback. So you're going to have to start building around this kid. So you need to go ahead and get him in, just like they did with Troy Aikman, right? When Troy Aikman came into the league,
right,
and I think it was like 89 or 90, when they came into the league, the Cowboys sucked bad. I think they went like 1-15, 2-14, something like that. And Troy Aikman started every single game. But once they started building around him and putting those pieces in place, he already had the experience and he already had the game knowledge. And I think that's what you do with Tua here. You go ahead and you put him in, let the kid get roughed up a little bit. I mean, you're in the NFL. You're going to get roughed up. So
the problem with Tua getting roughed up, though, is he has a history over the last couple of years of getting hurt bad. That hip, that ankle.
But now okay, this is going to be a quarterback that is like Carson Wentz, who I'm probably not going to get a full season out of. And then we go look for another quarterback, or we go ahead and put this kid in. Let's see his moxie. Let's see how tough he is. And let's go out and see what we have before we start building around him. Or, okay, we can't build around him. We need to go out and get another quarterback.
All right, and now it's time for the special time of the day.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And it is time for the 2-minute warning, guys. This is the mind of Michael Buckheischer here. And on this 2-minute warning of today, I'm going to go back to Major League Baseball again. It has been reported that the Oakland A's have not paid their rent for the stadium for this year. They are due, or the stadium is due $1.2 million rent for the upcoming season for them to play there. So when these Major League Baseball players are bitching about not making their full $26 million this season, they're only going to make 89% of it. Know that the owners are struggling right now. Know that there are issues beyond your $12 extra million a season. You can buy tuna fish. You can be like me and live off ramen noodle all through college. It's okay. I survived. I played college ball living off of ramen noodles and tuna fish. You'll be okay. Okay, you are going to make $12 million less this season. Okay, whatever. Have only 37 T-bone steaks in in a week instead of your average 50. Deal with it. You'll be okay. Oakland A's, hopefully you guys get this sorted out. Pay that rent, man. The money is going to be due. Hey, maybe your $1,200 stimulus check that you're going to get next week can go toward that rent a little bit. And guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Me and Mike Mablaw, thank you guys for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, share us with a couple friends. Mike, any closing thoughts before we head out?
Stop being greedy, Dak. Sign the damn deal or get the hell out of Dallas.
He won't. Have a good night, guys.